before I go on something else, did you do Ed Wood as well?
Yes,
For me, I think, I mean, Tim Burton has done some amazing stuff, right? Like I can go watch every movie of his, but Ed Wood holds a special place. I don't know why, because maybe it's because I'm a filmmaker and that's what I do, and you could relate to that to some extent. But it's one of the his best works. I truly enjoyed Ed Wood. I mean, everything else too, and especially with Batman Returns. When you said Batman Returns. I remember watching the trailer and watching the film, and I said to myself, and this was before I realized, I think Batman Returns came out in 1991, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
that's right.
Um, yeah,
Yeah.
so I realized that I want to go in that, journey of being a director in 93 when Jurassic Park came up, but I appreciated the editing sequence of Catwoman when she does that whole flip, when she and then she goes meow and then the gas station I think it was that explodes in the background.
Yeah,
Uh
yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought that I mean I still remember that. Like that's how much impact that quick, set of edits had on in my conscious, and that just kind of went on to do, what I do now. So yeah, hats off to you for that. It was
Oh,
amazing.
that's nice. No, that it was fun, the movie. It was a big movie for me. I hadn't done any I the sets were beyond
Oh God,
belief.
yeah.
And Danny's music. He'd come in and ask me to lengthen a shot or two, and I thought, why is the composer asking me to do that? And what it was for his theme when the light goes on in the sky for the big Batman theme.
Yeah.
And I said, sure, Danny, he's Danny Elfman. I thought he has a long association with Tim, and he's such a nice guy. So I did it, and he said, okay, can you make it even a little longer? And I thought, wow, I'd never sit on the shot like this forever, up in the twirls the light, everything's happening. Michael Keaton looks up and it flashes in the sky, 3 or 4 cuts, endless. And then that theme hit it so hard, it was brilliant. But
Yeah, I
it
can.
was a great collaboration and tough. We worked every day to hit a release date. And actually, the studio was very uncertain about the movie in terms of, it was a different era. But they didn't want anybody being on fire, no fire with people. And if you remember, there was a guy running through Gotham
Mhm.
City on fire. And it's funny because the objection with the MPA, I think back then was when Catwoman put the stuffed animal in the garbage disposal. And you can't do that. That apparently that offends in their minds, that would offend too many moviegoers. So I think we got away with that one. We appealed, and you would never these days think that that would be at all an issue. But like I say, it was another era. And Batman was meant, for a PG audience,
Yeah.
maybe G. The first one I'm sure was PG, but it was special. And and Ed Wood, it's funny you mention it because I've had directors call me and say, because of that movie, I want to hire you. And I thought, well, it wasn't very hard to edit. I mean, it really wasn't. If you look at it, it was about taking scenes out. There was a
Yeah.
lot of stuff between Bella and Ed, Martin Landau and Ed, that I convinced him to take out. He was very gracious about it uh, because there's more there, but it just seemed it didn't really add much for me. But the movie it was in black and white. It was he we did it in New York. He wanted to leave L.A. We went out there. I missed the giant earthquake here because of that, the Northridge quake, which was great, but it was a very cold winter. And we mixed the movie up at Berkeley at Fantasy Films, which isn't there anymore. So he was moving around a lot to kind of maybe even duck around the studio to do post production. And it was hard for them to reconcile that movie with their tastes. It didn't, they were confused at a preview when they saw it with an audience. But, you were right. In hindsight, it was a terrific film and people really loved it.
Yeah, I mean to know that there was a guy who made Plan 9 from Outer Space, and then I actually ended up watching Plan 9 from Outer Space. with the spit, with the saucers hanging off a string,
Right.
I mean, that just kind of goes to show like the dedication of the guy, like he just wanted to make a film as crappy or terrible as it is, but he ended up making it anyways. And that's what Edward was about. It's about perseverance and believing in self and who you are, and no matter what anybody else thinks.
That's right. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Going back to Alice in Wonderland, Chris, had you seen the original animated version before you took a dive on that on the actual
You know,
live action one?
I saw it way back when I was a kid,
Hmm.
um, 6 or 7 or something, but I didn't revisit it. I actually had to overlap I was finishing up another movie, so I missed like the first week or two, so I had no prep time to get myself involved in it, which was fine because we shot it right here in Culver City, which is now the Amazon Studios, but it was a legendary Culver Studios. I think, Casablanca, no, Gone with the Wind was shot there.
Okay.
But I didn't apply any knowledge from the original. And to be honest, when I did Dumbo, I barely saw the first Dumbo. I didn't want to color my view of the movie with
Yeah.
original.
Yeah, no, good thinking. Good thinking because you don't see that in any of the Alice in Wonderland, at least the live action one. So, um,
Yeah,
but yeah,
no, no, I know. I mean, I mean, I read the script, I follow it, but I don't hold it as a Bible at all because the audience doesn't read the script when they walk into a movie theater. So I try and be as objective as I can with the material.